from Virginia is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Secretary Napolitano, thank you very much for your testimony today. I'd like to just share with you a comment that was made to me by a local sheriff and just get your perspective on it. He commented that the sheriff's office is required by law to notify ICE every time that they have an illegal immigrant. Very rarely does ICE respond back if they are or are not an illegal alien. However, it would make no difference because they would not put a hold on them anyway. This is due to funding problems since ICE does not have enough beds to act on the reported aliens. And the court process takes 18 months to determine whether or not that person is indeed an illegal alien. This would require more cells, prosecutors, clerks, and attorneys, and no one would fund what it actually costs to deport all the illegal aliens. The local sheriff's office does not have the resources to do ICE's job. Now, I've learned in life that there are always two sides, and there's more to this than maybe what's here. So would you kindly comment on that and give some perspective?
Yes, Representative, and I'd kind of like to know which sheriff we're talking about. I think I actually do know. Okay. But in any event, we work very closely with the sheriffs and police chiefs around the country. One of the key challenges we have is, estimates vary, but estimates vary from between 8 to 12 million people who are in this country illegally. Plain fact of the matter is that if you look at the cost of removing an individual, the Congress has funded the removal of about 400,000 a year. We have prioritized in that 400,000 to say the number one priority is for those who are convicted of crimes. That's why the President's budget expands what's called secure communities and puts it in the jails of our country, which are operated by the sheriffs, and the prisons of the country, which are operated by State Bureau prisons, because that is a way to make sure that those that are committing crimes, in addition to being in the country illegally, are being removed through the immigration process. So in that 400,000 last year, we removed over 200,000 who were criminal aliens, which was a record number by a large percentage. That's what secure communities enables us to do. Now, I don't know whether this particular sheriff has a jail where secure communities is not yet installed. If it is, it's something that we could get that information from and work with him on. But that's probably the easiest way to deal with his base concern.
Okay, thank you for your response. I've come to this body as an entrepreneur, business owner, first-time elected official, and I've just been struck by, frankly, the tangled web of reporting relationships and the complexity of the committee structure and the organizational chart of the House. And I'm sure that, like every organization, it could be refined and improved upon. Would you kindly give us your perspective on the number of committees that oversee Homeland Security and how that might be streamlined?
Well, I appreciate that question. This is something the Chairman and I have discussed. If oversight is a blessing, I guess you could say DHS is particularly blessed. When we were created, what happened was a number of departments were merged into DHS, and we all everyone carried with them their committees. And none of the committees were reorganized really to match the new department. So the end result is we report to 108 committees of the Congress. The overwhelming majority of those are committees and subcommittees of the House. In the 111th Congress, we testified 285 times. 140 times were component heads who had to come down and testify. We provided 3,900 briefings to the Congress in the 111th Congress, 3,900, and we are required to file something around 425 written reports a year. So it's a huge manpower drain on the department. We would like to take some of those resources and put them into operations, particularly given the fiscal environment we are in, and we will support any effort by the committee to help us achieve that goal.
Well, thank you, and I would want to join you in that effort, and I believe the committee generally would. Thank you for your testimony. I yield back.
I can safely say this is one